record it. Okay. So as you can see here, we have here learning or thinking styles here. There are several perspectives about learning and thinking styles, but we will focus on sensory references. So we are going to just talk more about the sensory preferences. Okay, let's start with this one. We have here three main categories, which are the first one is visual learners. You can find that these learners must see the teacher's actions and facial expressions to fully understand the content of a lesson. Sometimes when I used to have a lesson or attend the lesson, so I used to just look at the face of my teacher and how can they explain and their body movements. So they were that's really important for me. Okay. Also, we have here visual iconic. Here, according to the visual one, we have Richard breaks down the visual learners into visual iconic. So, according to the visual learners, we have visual iconic and visual symbolic. Iconic, those prefer this form of input are more interested in visual imaginary, such as film, graphic displays, pictures, in order to solidify learning. So you can find here some icons, like these icons, okay? And we have also visual symbolic. So this form of input feel comfortable with abstract symbolism, such as the mathematical formula or the written word. Okay, and this is for the visual learners. According to the auditory one, they learn best through verbal lectures, discussions, talking things through listening to what others have to say. And also, we're always asking our students about the Simon Says, so it's gonna be auditory learners. We have also tactile or kinesthetic learners. The tactile or kinesthetic person benefit much more a hand-on approach. So they need hand-on approaches, or you can say it's project-based learning. They want to learn through their hands. So exploring the physical world around them, and all of these, the mix of all of these preferences is really important, especially for young learners. Okay, so here which do you communicate more, visual, kinesthetic, or auditory? Most of you told me that yes, you were visual and or mixed of visual or and auditory one. Okay, so you'd like to learn more about here the strategies. According to the first one is understand the intelligence. As a teacher, we must understand the intelligence. How could we do so? Familiarize yourself with the eight intelligence defined by Gardner's: linguistic, logical, mathematical, spatial, bodily, kinesthetic, musical, interpersonal, intrapersonal, and naturalistic. And you must understand the characteristics and the preferences associated with each intelligence. Sometimes you can use here the board choice for your students. I used to, especially with anything, even when I'd like to make a dictation for my students, I use the board choice. So I can put some words or the vocabulary, and I ask my students to choose three of these choices. Try to put these words into sentences. It's one. You can ask them, for example, make the board choice. One of them draw, the other draw the word, write the definition of the word, put the word in a sentence. So try to mime the word, so try to differentiate the way of providing them the information through the board choice. This is for here to understand intelligence. Number two here, learning centers. Learning centers here is very also important. You can set up different learning centers or stations in your classroom, each focus on particular intelligences. For example, you can assign writing center for linguistic intelligence, math center for logical mathematical, art center for spatial intelligences, and allow students to rotate around these centers. How can I do centers and the classroom is not large? You can make, for example, corners. So this corner, for example, this is a math corner. The other one is art corner. The other one is writing corner. So you can ask students to rotate around the corners and experience and have different experiences and engage with different intelligences. And according to also the assessment also is very, very important. You can conduct assessment or activities to help students identify their dominant intelligences. So it is not only for you as a teacher, but also for students. That you are going to help them to understand their own intelligence. So they can involve in self-reflection, surveys, and interactive exercises, and as I told you previously, you can do so in the board choice. And this also will help them understand their learning preferences and build their confidence too. In other way, you can evaluate your students fairly here, as you can offer a range of options such as written assignments, presentations, artistic creations, physical demonstrations. So all of these items could be included in the board choice. The other one, you have to use varied instructional strategies. You have to incorporate a variety of instructional strategies to cater different intelligences. For example, you can use visual aids and diagrams for spatial learners, hand-on activities for kinesthetic, group discussion for interpersonal. So you have to demonstrate different aids, different strategies for your learners. So here it's about the flexibility and adaptability in your teaching method as a key. Um, and the fourth one is multiple entry points. So you have to introduce new concepts or topics through multiple entry points to engage different intelligences. For example, if you'd like to teach your students solar system, so you can read a book aloud. So this is linguistic intelligence. Create a scale mode. This is special, or make a diagram for them. Create here also or compose a song. So this is a musical. So I think that young learners and also adults love musical aids. So this would help them to memorize and to get the idea to be restricted in their minds. So this approach here ensures that um, all students with various intelligences can connect with the material. So you are going to make sure that all of them are engaged in different ways in the material. You can use also timetable. You can use finger tricks, songs, skip counting, flashcards, worksheets. So this is about here the timetable because I had such difficulty with my students and especially with my son. So if you'd like to teach them, for example, a timetable, so you can use here finger tricks, you can use songs, skip counting, flashcards, worksheets, time tests. So all of these ideas are helpful and beneficial for your students. Also, you can here use the cooperative learning. Encourage cooperative activities that allow students to collaborate and utilize their interpersonal intelligences, like group projects, debates, or role playing, as Dr. Ahmed Abdelhai mentioned before. So all of these things here, all of these activities can foster the teamwork, social skills while addressing academic goals. And according to the individual here projects, you can assign here individual projects that give students the opportunity to explore and develop their dominant intelligence. Actually, I love these projects because this one will help me to understand that the students can speak. How can they speak well? How can they pronounce some words? And I always, before the project and before the videos, I always ask them to write a manuscript. This will help them to keep their ideas engaged and to be on the track so that they couldn't be away and come forth and back. So it's gonna be they can deviate from their main goals. That's why I ask them to write scripts first before their videos. And when they create a video, so you as a teacher you encourage them to be self-confident because they can stand in front of the camera and they can speak confidently about their own the own projects or the thing that they feel that they are interested in. Here you can conduct here, for example, if they are naturalistic, if you'd like to experience naturalistic intelligence, you can ask them to conduct an environmental research project. So this will help them and encourage them to self-express about themselves and their interest and allow them to showcase their strengths too. So it is not for you as a teacher, it is also for students to just know their strengths and their own intelligences. Okay, so we have here different intelligences. According to the first one here, verbal linguistic intelligences. So you can use here some activities like story reading, oral presentations, speech competitions, um, reflective diaries, here writing, podcasts on studied topics and debates too. These types uh, were mentioned by Dr. Ahmed previously. How about logical mathematical intelligences? So you can use computer program activities, use of puzzles, solution of verbal problems, use the scientific method, use of some questions, okay, and all of these will help them to, yes, counting, skip counting, all of these you will find that yes, students with logical mathematical intelligences will be included and engaged with this one. Okay, according to the next one here, the visual one, you can use concept of maps and involve them to create maps or drawings, Pictionary games, activity use Minecraft, activities with modeling, clay, paint, and collage, productions and taking of photos, videos, and short films. You can ask students also to bring their photos. Uh, if you'd like to explain anything related, to, for example, to the past, so you can ask them to bring a picture when they were in a holiday previously in last summer and ask them to show their photos to their peers and speak about their experiences. So I think that they're gonna be engaged in such one. By the way, I experienced that, and students generally love to speak about themselves in front of their peers, and they'd like to share some personal experiences with them. As for musical one, you can assign some musical pieces for them and you can come up with play instruments, create songs and rhythms, measure musical time using the metronome. By the way, in this one, here you can, for example, according to writing, you can just assign a writing piece, try to come up with the rhymes and try to transform the rhyme into a song and try to sing the song together, so they will feel happy and the material will be absorbed easily for them. Also, sometimes when I assign a writing piece for them, I'd like them to write, and I'd like them to focus. Sometimes I play, classical music, only music for them. I'd like them to be engaged into when we are talking about something related to literature or stories. So they have to compose a story together. So they have to listen to some, music, classical music or any music, so that they're gonna be engaged. And when I ask them to, when music is stopped, so you have to stop writing so that we can get on, we can come up with more amazing ideas for them while listening to music. Bodily kinesthetic. So you can use theater production. It's like role play. If you are going to teach them in even a story, ask them to, you know, to uh, to be characters of this story. Try to be like a theater for them, and everyone will just just take role play, like take roles or turn roles for them, so that they can um, speak about the characters or the story in their own ways. It's gonna be also helpful for you. It's gonna be like an informative assessment for you as a teacher, because you are going to get if the students understand, if the students understand what you are going to present to them or not. Also, you can ask them to use crafts, use Legos. Okay, all of these things are very helpful for your uh, playing, jumping. So all physical exercises are very important for our students. Intrapersonal. So ask them uh, for 1 minute reflection. So you can ask them, each one of students, for example, think of a reflection activities that integrate independent study, like as I told you previously here, assign projects or individualist projects, provide classroom spaces for individual study, activities related to the theme of self-esteem, and all of in self-taught readings. Ask your students. I remember uh, one of the most effective mentor. She taught us that we have to let our students to read aloud. So let them read aloud, because when reading aloud, you are going to um, um, just assess them and find out their deficiencies. Okay, so this is for intrapersonal. Interpersonal, use board games, role play activities, and you can create academic clubs. So all of these scenario simulations. So all of these activities are helpful for interpersonal students. Okay, naturalistic. So you can, if you love pets, or plant, you can just bring pets or plants in the classroom. You can ask your students to have the class outside the classroom. Ask them to make some activities in the yard, so that they can move and they can walk in the natural environment in the school, so that you can find out here their strengths. Okay, so according to what we have mentioned earlier, can you guess your students' future professions according to their different intelligences? How about you, Ms. Amani, Ms. Sarah, Ms. Aida? So sometimes when you are looking at your students, so can you pretend their future professions according to their intelligences? Hello, can you hear me? Dear Miss Aida? Okay, you're writing. So I think, yes, we can expect that from their tendencies. Exactly, yes. And yes, from their tendencies and interests. Exactly. Okay. So we have here, you can here predict your students here professions or future professions according to, so this is visual, spatial, linguistic, verbal, interpersonal, intrapersonal, logical, mathematics, musical, biological, static, and naturalistic. So you can, yes, according to their tendencies and interests. So thank you. Okay, so how can we test our students' multiple intelligences? I'm going to show you this. So this one, I'm going to share it with you. 1 minute here. Okay, in the chat box. So these here intelligences that you can share with your students, um, or there is something that I'm going to send to you after filling the survey. By the way, so this is this one. So this is very, very easy. This is for your students. If your students couldn't fill in this form, ask their parents to fill in so that you will get in the totals here. For example, you have here different intelligences here, and for example, they have, for example, here I enjoy singing and I sing well. So if yes, so they have to color this one, musical one. If no, they don't have to color it. And after that, you have to come up with the totals. Then you will get uh, which intelligence dominates the rest of them. Okay, I'm going, by the way, to send to you this form. Once you fill in the survey, this is here the end of our session. If you have any ideas, please let me know, or any comments, any questions, please let me know. Hello? Hello? Yeah, thank you, dear Ms. Aida. By the way, yes, I'm going 1 minute. Don't please, yes, don't leave because I'm going to share you here something. 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute, please. I'm going to show you the survey. Once you fill in the survey, you will get here, uh, you will get a file filling of resources. These resources includes the survey that I showed you previously. 1 minute, please. Please. Okay, here we are. Survey link. Okay, so here the link for you. Just fill in the link and you will get the resources. And I'm going also to share the resources on the TEYL SEG Facebook group. Thank you very, very much for your attendance. And yes, I wish to see you again. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Thank you, dear. Thank you, dear. Thank you, dear Miss Amani. Thank you, dear Miss Aida. Thank you very much, dear. Thank you, dear Miss Sarah. Thank you.